G'day friends and fans, welcome to Dave Talks Off Ukraine War Update for the 28th of June 2026. As I look around the map, there is lots of combat markers. The Russian offensive continuing in Sumy, having taken some territory, as well as continuing in the Kharkiv buffer zone, having taken some territory, though nothing really significant. There are Russians opening up a new front, or expanding the front, I should say. Nothing significant in the Kharkiv area. In the Lyman area, Russians have moved into the center of Novoviska. They continue expanding their hold on Lyman and the surrounding area. As we look at Kravdoluka, they have swallowed very little so far, but they are continuing their operations and moving in. And as we move down the front, operations in other areas continue, though large amounts of the front are quiet. Continuing operations in Kostokovia, though no major breakthrough. As we look around the front, there is no other major breakthrough that has occurred. And now, Ukraine has claimed to take control of the Spit. As you can see, that is not true. They did land on the Spit, on the very outskirts, and then they quickly retreated back from this narrow area when the Russians came back in force. They raised the flag. They've done this before, and they've done it on Snake Island, and they've done it on Crimea as well. They don't ever tell you how many men they lose, but according to some reports, the 38th lost an entire squad in an operation just to get a photo of them raising a flag in Russian territory. Zelensky's very big on propaganda, very little on achievements. Quick reminder, Empire Valves, that's one word, empirevalves.myshopify.com, your one-stop shop for enchanting treasures based on ProWriting. Thank you for your attention and thank you for your purchase. Everything supports the channel. Now, in major news, well, see, right here, we have a report of a downing of a MiG-29 in Polska on operational, saying the pilot has ejected. Trying to find out what happened. Actually find out that this is the third today, actually in the last 24 hours. Close to yesterday, early morning, the Russians attacked, and of course, Ukraine never actually admits anything. Russia attacked and destroyed in two separate strikes, two Ukrainian MiGs on the ground. That means they got through air defenses and electronic jamming failed. This was at the first one was during takeoff at Volodishnik airfield in southern Ukraine. The aircraft was destroyed on the ground. According to Military Watch, Ukrainian sources have confirmed this aircraft was lost. They've also lost a second MiG-29 on the ground, during combat missions over Polvovka, and then a third, according to Russians, they destroyed a second at this. Now, the Ukrainians are only admitting to one at the airfield and one in the air, but Most major news sources say they confirmed 3 total, but there was a second MiG 29 destroyed at the airfield on the ground. There were a total of 9 drones that hit the airfield, 2 taking out aircraft, others took out vehicles and supplies and radar. Now, the Gan 4 is latest in a series of Russian attack drones. This is building on the Giant 2, a derivative of the Shahed 136. It is powered by a lightweight turbojet engine. Now, they're saying it's a Chinese Telfly. Now, this is actually, the Chinese Telfly is a copy of a Russian engine. These are, in fact, first indications, as I said for a long time, I suspect that a lot of these drones are in fact made in China and brought into Russia ready to go in these trucks. They come in by truck, they launch, they go home, and there's a series of trucks and trains bringing lots of equipment from China, and that China is building up, some estimate, a war chest of 7 trillion. That's a lot. It's a huge war chest, but China officially has hidden a lot of its financial data, but it is printed, it's believed to have printed huge amounts of money artificially. Now, this is odd because China is supposed to be digitizing, but they've printed huge amounts of banknotes for foreign exchange, expecting, um, cash exchange. Now, the only countries they're cash exchanging with is Iran, Iraq, Syria, Russia, and India. Others, they are gold exchanging or euro exchanging. They are trying to completely de-dollarize, but they have a huge amount of dollar assets, and they're trying to isolate and convert those into euros without sparking a major collapse, because they want their money back. They want a huge amount of money for the returns on investment. So just because it's a Chinese-made engine, it is a turbojet, and it is more difficult to intercept than the Ground 2. Yeah, but there we have. There's the this is not the aircraft that was shot down, just indicative of the Ukrainian digital pattern, what the Ukrainian aircraft really look like. Yeah, there's insufficient numbers currently in service to replace. Every time they lose one, they can't replace it. They can replace an Su-27, I believe, in Poland, but not a MiG. They have no licensed MiGs. Yeah, there's MiG 39, 29. Now, thought they had some MiG 31s, but that might not be true. F-16 block fighters. This is what I call the Eurofighter now, the block fighter. These have been updated with the new 260s. They have potentially threatened Russian aircraft, but both sides have a lot of obsolete equipment. And the MiG-29 is just on the edge, considered on the edge of obsolete. But the Ukrainians are supposed to be getting Gripens and French Rafales. We have not seen any evidence they've gotten any frontline fighter. That the Gripen they're getting, second-hand old models. The Rafale, earlier production models that are actually unsold. These are older, unsold models from previous, that they're not the same as the one. current production model. These are not the upgraded Rafale. These are like the bargain basement that they have to be upgraded and fitted out with new equipment. They weren't made for NATO, or they were made for export only. To small countries who'll just buy a few aircraft. They don't have any of the NATO integration. So to send them to Ukraine, they have to be fitted with some sort of electronics to fit in with the communications and radar systems. Now, I thought the T-80 confirmed, scrapped. The T-72BU has been redesignated T-90. That's old news, but it looks like the T-80R may be redesignated, right, to restart production of a very. So they're taking tech out of the BU and putting it on the T-80. Now the T-80 is a faster variant of the T-72. It was made to storm in, basically fast retaliation to replace the T-72, and get because they wanted a cheaper, lighter tank to storm across Eastern Europe to basically cut production costs. But in the end, it actually turned out the T-80 production and weight wasn't that much difference, and the cost was actually getting higher. So they kept the T-72 and its variants. Now the T-80 is actually a variant of the T-56, much heavier tank, but it's mostly heavy because of ceramic. Older, some of the older tanks. Now, I have no confirmation of this, but it's actually going to be a 152mm gun. It's going to be it's going to be mobile artillery or a tank destroyer. But for now, its prototype is got the 120mm smoothbore. And it's ditching the T-80 external fuel tank, although it can still be fitted with it. But yeah, and they're extending the turret. Why? Because they're putting on a bigger barrel. Yeah, as you can see here, longer. This one has a longer barrel, so don't take it that it's going to be a 152. We've seen this with other tanks as well. There is a 150mm version of the T-72. It's just never been produced. Black Eagle prototype here. Yeah. Why has it got shroud? This is because enthusiasts out there will go, "Hey, isn't that a Tiger?" Yeah, it's got the heavy mount, heavy long gun mount, and yeah, basically it's got a shunt, right? Gun fires, it's all shunted out through the back. That's why there's a peephole in the shroud, because it's going to blow a hatch out for a bigger gun. Now, bigger gun with Russian can actually mean either longer and or bigger, higher caliber. There are 6 variations of the T-72. Some of them, I think, only 3 of them are in production, and 3 different factories. And this is likely what's going to happen is the design of the T-14, but the material for the T-14 is just too expensive for Russia to, and it is fuel consumes, not very fuel efficient as well. The Japanese variant of the T-35 is proving to be popular. Um, Currently, yes, America is currently testing the F-35 against Russian S-300s. And yes, these are S-300s that Ukraine purchased before it. Sorry, was it Russia or Turkey? Sorry, Ukraine or Turkey, one of the two. They've sold America and Poland their S-300s in return for new updated version of the Patriot. It's believed there are 4 in Ukraine out of 8 Patriots. These are longer, faster, uh, higher altitude, all the usual buzzwords. Just basically, T-100 is just in a long line of Russia maintaining what it calls progress. Now, as we've often seen, this progress uh, usually is thanks to captured battlefield technology. We saw how Russian tanks improved after the various wars they've had. The T-80 was, I think, uh, showing its vulnerabilities already back in the Afghan war, and 3 times, yeah, yeah, the T-80 was 3 times the cost of the T-72. Yeah. Now, some countries found the T-80 and the T-72 quite helpful. Then again, they never faced American artillery or anti-American javelins. Here we have Ukraine Pravda confirming that 1 MiG. This is the cope and sieve that they only lost 1 somewhere on the night between 26th 27th. 1 fighter was lost when the pilot ejected. So the cope and sieve. This I'm going to drop Pravda is just gone back to pure propaganda. Hasta la vista, bullshit. All right, so Russia has claimed to have taken Nova Scotia. They've been slowly absorbing this for the last couple of weeks, and it's only what 50 something buildings. But apparently they this is one of the 148 foreign mercenaries were killed. Now, this is a bit of a mixed bag. Yes, I think Ukraine was, let's say, one of 5 major issues that buried Keir Starmer. There's no one issue that buried Keir Starmer, but Ukraine was definitely one of them. Uh, it was also the undoing of Boris Johnson, who was ditched by his own party. It did. It helped, but not enough. Now Labor wants to do the same. They want to ditch, but it may actually save Labor. Andy definitely Burnham, by not touching Ukraine. But then again, that's what they do, right? Snakes in the grass. Um, but some do believe both Boris and Starmer used Ukraine as a shield or a distraction, I should say, deflection from domestic issues. And for a while it did work. A lot of people thought, greening Britain was a real thing. Now, I get a lot of British do remember and have seen what Britain used to look like. And they do want a return to green spaces, and I don't blame them. What I do blame them for is the methodology. You can't increase your population through mass migration and return to green spaces and limit building size and limit power production and limit fuel imports. Something has to give. Now that most people realize that mass migration is the problem and the cash that you needed went to Ukraine, yes, that is where Keir Starmer. But the thing that really turned everything around was the rape crisis and all the other crimes. Feminism lost its credibility in the UK for its silence and continued silence over mass rape. And Keir Starmer, as you know, he served his favourite country well. But his favourite country is definitely not England. Was it Israel and Ukraine? Yes. Now, prisoner swap, 160, nowhere near the 1,000 that was promised by Zelensky, but it's still 160 live prisoners, unlike last week where there were the Russians turned over dead Ukrainians in return for 12 dead Russians. This was a live prisoner swap, even though last week was supposed to be a last prisoner swap, and every week for the last month there was supposed to be prisoner swaps. Now, yes, there were some prisoner swaps. They were small, nowhere near the 1,000 that was promised in 2 months ago. But in return for Russia thanks the United Arab Emirates for helping with getting the POWs returned. And as you see, they do the usual prisoner swap. Now, yeah, there was a 250 exchange back in May. There was supposed to be one last month that turned out to just be a few bodies. But this month, again, representatives of the UAE went to Ukraine, drove the Russians in a bus to Belarus, and drove back with Ukrainians. There you go. They have a photo up, and then, as you can see, there's some Chinese in there as the Belarusians and that. So, yeah. So don't believe everything you hear from foreign ministers either. Lavrov is actually seemingly, and I'm not going to say this is official Russian policy, but he may actually be wishing, that we do admit Ukraine to the EU because of the disaster it would turn out to be, citing the last 10 years of Ukraine being a albatross around our neck for the next 100 years. Something I've said for quite some time. I'm not saying that Minister Lavrov is watching or any Russian official is watching. Maybe some poor schmuck who's sitting right now in an embassy in Australia was watching this video and going, they're going to call him Russian disinformation, but half of what he's saying would get him arrested. And, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I will be now arrested. But, yeah, there is no winning. Right? Criticism of the Ukraine war is a crime pretty much in both countries now. You criticize Ukraine in Ukraine, you get fucked over. You criticize Russia in Russia, you get fucked over. You criticize Russia in the West, you get celebrated. You don't criticize Russia in the West, you get vilified. The world is becoming a toxic relationship with the truth. And the polarization, yeah. If you say anything other than ejected, if you say shut down, you're vilified. Even if Western sources say, yeah, it was shut down. So there you go. 3 MiGs, tiny bit of territory, whatever territory stunt that Ukraine pulled in Kherson on the Russian side of the river is over. They got killed. Though the probably you know the mindset, This is one of those weird things that you just can't say fools. And people who survive these things years later go, why did I do that? And I'm telling you, in the moment, when you allow emotion to control you, yeah, it's something I'm talking about in my upcoming video, the attention economy, and how to break free from the attention economy, and how it's just feminist energy and emotional um, addiction. And I think there's an interesting article, Why Slavs Fight Each Other. It's quite interesting. And it does go into the bad blood between the various groups, ethnic groups, and how they carry these grudges for generations, and how originally the point that a point in the Eastern Bloc, the so-called camaraderie, was to end the conflicts, pretty much like Pax Roma, generate, and same in America, to generate, to bring together different ethnicities to create peace in order to create a thriving business environment. Now, it's funny how Americans who want a thriving business environment, somehow half of them don't want to end the Ukraine war, which is odd, to say the least. But that's the way it goes. You'll never please everyone all the time. You will always run into difficulties, particularly when you don't meet the expectations of the attention economy and the audience's expectations of confirmation bias. Anyhow, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please support the channel and support me on Ko-Fi, Patreon. Buy my books, buy my merch. All my links are in the link tree, which you can find in the description below, in my profile, or scan the QR code on the screen. Appreciate your time. See you in the next video, and bye for now.